Dear Sir, Madam, I'm Hannah Schartmann and I'm the German delegate for the climate track. I would like to take you on a time journey in the year 2030. What would our world look like in 2030? My dream world would look like this. In 2030, we will achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by the UN. We will meet the goals of the Paris Agreement. In 2030, we have reduced the loss of biodiversity and the extinction of species. We will stop overfishing, the overexploitation of the ocean and the unsustainable use of marine resources. In 2030, I will be 34 years old and I will probably have children. And I will proudly say to them, the young generation has taken actions to fight against the climate crisis. We have made changes and we have achieved a green and sustainable planet for you, for the next generation. It's time to wake up now. We are back in 2021. Dear Sir and Madam, let's make this dream a reality. I would like to remind you not to forget our oceans. Set ocean conservation on your G7 agenda. Why? Because our oceans are the largest ecosystems on our planet. Because our oceans provide us food and energy. And because our oceans regulate our climate. And therefore, we cannot solve the climate crisis without considering the oceans. The oceans are too large to ignore. Ocean conservation continues after the G7 summit. Take it with you to the COP26. International ocean protections does not stop at the borders of the G7 countries. International ocean protections means the participation of all countries. And international ocean protection means a network of marine protected areas in the high seas. People around the world have hope for a green and sustainable planet. But hope requires actions. Let's take climate actions now. Thank you very much.
As the Canadian delegate on climate and the environment, I want to stress the importance of mobilizing public and private investments to reach our climate objectives, to foster innovation, and also to prevent the exacerbation of pre-existing social and economic inequalities in our communities. Let's make sure money is invested with transparency and with consideration for the well-being and prosperity of young people. Y7 delegates want to propose a series of calls to action to ensure that G7 nations raise enough capital to save our planet. But as we raise those billions and billions of dollars, we also need to have honest conversations about where this money is going and who will get to benefit from all those grants and funding that will be made available through climate finance. To get there, G7 countries must develop inclusive and efficient carbon pricing mechanisms based on transnational coordination. Of course, we ask that those carbon pricing mechanisms take into account the needs of consumers, but also the realities of the most vulnerable populations in our countries. On the other hand, revenues raised by carbon pricing need to be reinvested to guarantee a global and affordable clean energy transition. Secondly, G7 countries must walk the talk and reorient public and private investments away from fossil fuel by 2021. We can work together by using a brown taxonomy that will allow us to meet G7 and global NDCs by 2030. It's ambitious, but it's necessary. We cannot continue to raise our ambitions on climate finance while also funding activities that are harmful to the environment. And of course, this is a very contentious discussion in many of our countries. That is why moving away from fossil fuel will also mean working with those impacted by the transition to find solutions that are fair for everyone. Finally, we ask that G7 countries significantly increase funding for green and climate resilient research through multilateral agreements.
Hello, my name is Clara Azarian, and I'm the French delegate for the Youth 7 Climate and Environment track. The Youth 7 has identified crisis management as a main theme of concern, as climate change and environmental degradation can lead to both short-term and long-term crises that we need to prepare for. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown that our societies are not resilient. According to IPBES, almost 100% of pandemics have been caused by zoonoses. But not only have we seen that we're not prepared to face those pandemics, we keep on increasing the risk factors generating them, as more than 30% of emerging infectious diseases are attributed or can be attributed to land use changes, agricultural expansion, and urbanization. International cooperation is key to prevent future crises. This could be done, for instance, by creating a working group to design a global monitoring framework that would help predict high-risk areas and ensure that we are reducing risk factors such as wildlife trade, illegal wildlife trade in particular, and deforestation. This is a serious concern, and G7 leaders must act now to protect both current and future generations.